Sundar got onto the bus. It was early morning and very fresh morning. The sun was rising. He had to go to a distant college from his village. The bus moved on. He was sitting at the window seat and he was humming a song. Sundar was a beautiful singer. He was a composer. A strange talent he had from childhood in that he would sing a song and very softly, and people would think that it is a movie song when actually it was his song, and he would just hum it in such a light way that it wouldn't disturb anybody. Strangely, whenever he sung, sitting behind the bus, nobody felt like disturbing him, though everybody could hear it. That's a very strange thing. And he loved to sing in the morning. The bus moved on. And today, at a stop, a new girl entered, whom he had never seen before. Sundar was in college. He was 18 years old. He had just completed his intermediate and he had joined an engineering college. And this girl also seemed to be his age. She was a very strange girl. She had this strange look on her face, hard look, but shining look. Her eyes looked as if she could see through. And as she entered, she took one glance at Sundar. And Sundar felt that she had seen through him. She had read him. Sundar's heart stopped. It was love at first sight. Sundar moved in his seat in such a way that he could see her from the side angle. She was sitting with a friend who had got onto the bus from an earlier stop, and she had turned her face and he could see her face. There were many people in the bus by now, but not too packed because it was early morning. Sundar looked at that girl in rapture. Now he observed carefully the smooth skin and the way she smiled, the sparkle in her eyes, the beautiful hair which was flowing in the wind, and a part of her hair, the strand of her hair also speaking. It looked as if she was dancing inside. He started feeling strange emotions within. Such deep attraction, he couldn't bear it. He could also see the naked part of her arm. And he, for the first time, started having these strange feelings of the body attraction, which he had never felt this way. It was not just that she was hot or something. It was that she was a reverent hot person. Too hot, burning. Sundar could not bear this kind of a feeling which he had felt for the first time in his life. His heart was pounding. And finally his college came and he had to get down regretfully. He understood that she must be going to some other college because she was carrying a bag. And then started a beautiful 1 month of seeing this girl every day. Next day, to the bus, and he had written a beautiful song and he lightly sung it. People turned a little bit and heard his song. It has beautiful lyrics in the vernacular. There she sits and there she flies with her light. Her hair flies, her body flies, my heart flies, soaring high up in the air where nothing is there and we are one together. In that oneness and bliss, I find my soul in another. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Something like that the lyrics went. Sundar had not written it. Something within him had written them. And he sang and sang. He could hear, he could notice that people were listening to him, including that girl. But the one beautiful thing about his singing is, since it never disturbed anybody, nobody turned or questioned him. He sang this song every day. Days passed, and he sang the same song every day. And then there was something which he did to 6 people in the bus. Sundar one day had met this girl, and that's another story. But there are 6 more stories here, dear reader and listener. There are 6 stories here. That that song, which was so beautiful and deep and passionate and true, reached 6 other girls. And they found something. There was a 9-year-old girl who was sitting there. And every day she heard for 1 month. She heard that song for 1 full month, and her mind went into an amazing fancy, because for the first time she realized what kind of man she would get in the future, and she understood what is love and that there is no turning back from it. Then there was this girl for whom he was singing, and she realized that this boy is her soulmate, and that they would have to meet, and they did meet after 1 month. And I told you that's another story. There's a third woman in the bus who is in her 30s. She was going through a deep pain in her life. Her husband was not a good man, but the usual man, like all men. But there was no love in his heart. She knew that. And from early age, this 30-year-old girl who was sitting in the bus listening to this song for 1 month always wanted to have a man who would give her this kind of love, this kind of sensual love, this kind of spiritual love together. She realized after 1 month, she's not going to settle. She's going to leave her husband. She made a decision and her life changed. There was another woman. She was in her late 40s, nearing 50s. Her husband and she had come to a complete, as they say, unhappy, happy marriage. There was nothing in their life. But she realized something different. She realized while listening to the song that she had fallen in love and had never realized it. It was long back when she was in intermediate, in her +2. There was a boy who used to always see her. And the way he used to see her, he had not found the words, but Sundar had given her the words. For days and days and days she cried. This 50-year-old woman, wondering, can I find that boy? And she decided she'll go back to her village, maybe trace that boy, maybe just tell him that she understood today, after 30 years, what that glance in his eyes for her were. And then there was a 70-year-old woman who also was in the bus. She had lost her husband. And it was the most heartbreaking story for her. All her life she had chastised her husband. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. Even before she had heard the song, she was always regretful. You died early. You left me early. She was 70. Her husband had died at 59. But retrospectively, as a flashback, she found that all her life, he had loved her. In every action of his, the way he bore her complaints, the way he always made amends, actually the way he made love to her. But she took it all like a silent spectator, like a dumb woman, like a blind woman. She experienced love. She didn't know that it was love. For a whole year, every day she cried after hearing this song for 1 month. Because every day of her life she lived back again. So many memories flooded her. Imagine a 70-year-old woman, after having lost her husband, falls in love with her husband and relives the moments. Sundar had done magic. It was not love at first sight for only Sundar. It was love at first sight for the young girl. It was the love at first sight for his real lover, whom he met later after 1 month. It was love discovered and decided upon, a new love for the 30-year-old. It was a love finally wanting for the 50 plus, and it was love rediscovered for the older woman. So many twists in love came from love at first sight. It was love at first sight, but actually it was universal love. And I believe, this is a true story. I believe this love is somewhere roaming in this universe. Such loves are the vibrations, the reverberations. This is the divine love from within us. These touch hundreds of hearts. Who knows how many more were touched? Who knows what was happening to the driver? How many stories are there with one shot of Sundar? One shot, arrow shoots, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of birds are fallen there, falling in love. This is the beautiful, extraordinary story, not of one Sundar and his girlfriend, whom he got finally. He had to with such pure love. It is the story of love as such, of love being universal, love being the meaning of life, love being the source, love being the God within. Thank you.